The Only Son, a story by Ebuka's heart. Jude and his wife Amora got married at a very young age. Jude, being the only surviving child of his parents, was made to settle down on time to birth grandkids for his parents. He learned how to sell foodstuff and he didn't go to school, but he was rich. He had so many shops across so many locations in his state. His wife Amora was also helping in the business. However, they had 4 girls and no boy child yet. This made Jude constantly sad and angry at his wife and daughters. To make matters worse, Amora could no longer get pregnant. She visited several hospitals where she was told that she was okay. They always advised her to bring in her husband for checkup too. The day she mentioned checkup to Jude, she landed at the hospital because Jude beat her blue-black. "How dare you accuse me of not being a man?" Jude shouted while punching her on the face. Jude also had a side chick whom he had promised heaven on earth if she ever conceives, and gave him a baby boy. When Amora saw that everything she and her husband labored for was slipping off her fingers, she did the unthinkable. She started sleeping with their driver, hoping to get pregnant at least. "If I am pregnant, there will be peace until the baby is born. If the baby is a girl, I will face what comes with it." 6 months later, Amora saw in an ultrasound that she was having a baby boy. She quickly told Jude, who threw a party. Jude named the unborn child and started transferring his assets to him even before he was born. Few months later, Ebuka was born. He was his mother's replica and Jude's joy knew no bounds. He was given everything any child could have and more. He was a good child, very brilliant and respectful. Ebuka, who was always at the church, came home one day and informed his father that he wanted to be a Catholic priest. His father slapped him angrily and warned him sternly to never mention such thing in his house again. "Do you want to close my lineage? How dare you say that, you ungrateful child?" Jude shouted and kicked. Amora also warned her son to never say such a thing in their presence again. When Ebuka turned 20 years old, Jude and Amora arranged a beautiful girl for him to marry. "You have to marry early to start making babies that will take over what I and your mother have worked hard to build," Jude said to his son, smiling. "But Papa, I said I want to become a Catholic priest. I can't even see myself being with a woman or having children. I don't like children. I only want to see myself standing at the altar, preaching to people about God and love." Jude, upon hearing this, knew he had to do something very drastic or lose his fortune to vultures in form of relatives. He planned with his wife and they paid a young girl from their village to sleep with their son, Ebuka, and get pregnant. "You have to seduce him, after all, he is just a boy. Make sure you get pregnant. And we will give you and your family 50 million and also send you abroad to have the baby." Mildred was a young girl who just finished secondary school and was hoping to learn a trade, since her family were not wealthy to further her education. Her parents were so happy when the offer to birth a child for one of the wealthiest men in their village came. "You must do everything to get pregnant," Mildred's mother said and smiled. "If he refuses to sleep with you, we will force him to," she said again. Ebuka's parents were desperate and Mildred's parents were equally desperate. For 2 months, Mildred was unable to seduce Ebuka as he was either at the church or at home reading the Bible or his books. When Ebuka's parents saw that nothing was working, they took a more drastic step. They bought a sleeping tablet and put in Ebuka's water, so that he can sleep and Mildred will take advantage of him. Ebuka took it, but instead of sleeping off, he started screaming like a mad person. He tore his cloth and ran out of their house, screaming like a mad person. Jude called his boys and Ebuka was captured and rushed to the hospital. His mother was crying and begging God for mercy. Their family doctor sedated him and told his parents that he will be fine once he woke up, that it was lack of adequate sleep that caused the outburst from Ebuka. 5 hours later, Ebuka was still sleeping. His mother became really worried. She insisted on waking her son up, but he refused to wake up. She screamed and the doctor came. After checking Ebuka, he became confused. Ebuka was brain dead, but how did that happen? So the doctor took Ebuka's folder and saw that the nurses on afternoon duty, gave him another dose of sedatives. He didn't want to shout or show Ebuka's mother what was going on to avoid being sued. He called the nurse to know why, and she said it was a mistake, that she thought the doctor wrote 2 doses of the sedative and didn't know it was just 1. So Ebuka didn't make it. He died 1 week later after his parents, and the doctors have tried everything to keep him alive. When the news of Ebuka's death was broken to his parents, his father slumped and had full stroke. He could not talk, nor move, he could only shed tears. His wife mourned her only son so much. The main reason was because they were the cause of his death. When Jude was bedridden and in so much pain, Amora confessed to cheating on him, saying that Ebuka was not even his son. You belittled me for years after suffering with you and giving you 4 children. You hated me and your daughters because your tradition told you to hate on us for something beyond our control. It was all your fault that we had just girls, but you refused to even listen. When I found out our inability to get another child might be from you, I started sleeping with Okon, our driver then. He is Ebuka's father. When Ebuka wanted to become a priest, instead of allowing him to follow his dreams, you still wanted to play God and killed my only son in the process. I will never forgive you, my dear husband, and in your next life, accept any child God sends your way. Rest in peace, Amora said to her husband who was still alive. Jude cried so much. He felt so pained. So, Ebuka was not even my blood. The thought of all his fight and struggles to get it right being in vain, woke up a fighting spirit in him. He pleaded with the doctor to send a word home to his kinsmen. The doctor, being a family friend too, knew them so well. So he sent for Jude's older cousin, but Amora stopped anyone from seeing him. She started creating a scene, saying that her husband's kinsmen were at the hospital to finish him off. They gave him stroke, now they want to send him home faster, she continued shouting. Her husband's kinsmen sent their parish priest to pray for Jude and give him Holy Communion. When you get there, try and find out what our brother was trying to say, Jude's older cousin whispered in the priest's ear. When Amora heard that the parish priest will come and visit her husband the next day, she decided to make her husband's death quicker. She took pillow at night and pressed Jude's neck until he stopped breathing. Let me see how you will tell them that thing in your mind. But she didn't know that a nurse was paid by Jude's kinsman to keep an eye on him specially, stating that they were suspecting foul play. The nurse caught Amora doing it and videoed her. So in the morning when Amora was crying about her husband's death, the video of her strangling him was going round on social media. Her daughters saw it and disowned her. Jude's kinsmen banished her and handed over the properties they felt their daughters didn't deserve to them. Their daughters expanded the foodstuff business and took it international. Today, their food brand is known in most households within and outside the country. They built a university in their community and named it after their father's family, something no male child could ever achieve in their entire lineage. Every child is a blessing and can do exploits when properly trained and given the chance. Any child that comes your way as a parent, accept with an open arms and love them as you should. After all, you cannot even create a strain of the hair in your head.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.